All right, ladies, welcome to day 4, or the 4th video in our onboarding series. Today, I want to talk about how to start making swaps on your meal plan and how to structure your meals properly. So a very common question that we get is what foods to eat, how much to eat. Well, we already answered that. You have the meal plan. But after the first 2 weeks, after you've followed that consistently for the first 2 weeks, we want to teach you how to slowly wean off that meal plan so you can be a bit more independent with your nutrition. So the first step that your transformation coach may have you do in your first check-in is going to be starting to swap out some foods. So when we think about structuring our meals, we want to have a protein, a carb, and a fat. Sometimes I see women eating just an egg for breakfast or just a bagel for breakfast by itself. A bagel alone is not a meal. An egg alone is not a meal. I've also seen women eat an avocado for lunch. An avocado is not a meal, okay? That's a fat source. So in order to structure a meal properly, you always want to be looking at, okay, what's my protein source? Number 1, that's the most important. What's my carb source? And then where is my fat in here? So for example, for breakfast, every morning I have eggs, I have toast with peanut butter, and I have blueberries and strawberries. So my protein is the egg. My healthy fats are also the egg and my peanut butter. My carbs are the toast and the berries. So that is a well-balanced and structured meal. So when you go to make your own meals, you want to make sure that you have a protein, a carb, and a fat source. Now, I will say I recommend sticking to leaner proteins because if you are having, whole eggs and salmon and steak all throughout the day, yes, those are great protein sources, but they're also all very high in fat. So some foods are going to contain protein and fat, or fat and carbs, or carbs and protein. So just make sure that in order for you to stay within your fat goal for the day, we want to make sure that we are pairing these protein sources together correctly. So if I'm going to have salmon and eggs all in the same day, I might not have room in my fats to also have ground beef or steak because those are also fattier protein. So I might have eggs and salmon, but then for dinner, I might use chicken breast, which is very, very lean. So if you're wondering what foods contain which macros, we have a macro cheat sheet that we can send you. Just ask for it and we can send it to you. It's also inside of the school course, but that's the first step. So you'll take your meal plan and maybe you are tired of the Thomas English muffin or whatever you may have on your meal plan. Maybe you're tired of the carb source for your breakfast. So instead of doing that, maybe we just swap that for toast instead, or maybe half a bagel. So that way it's still a carb source, but it's not the same carb source. Or maybe you want to take away your toast altogether and just have fruit instead. So that way you are still making swaps, but you're going to stay within similar macros. Same thing for protein. Let's say you're tired of chicken breast. Okay, well, chicken breast is a very lean protein, so we're going to have to swap it for something that's also lean. So ground turkey, like a 99% lean ground turkey, is very lean, and that would be a good substitute for the chicken breast. And again, we will be doing this with you. I'm just giving examples so you can start learning how to structure your day and how to swap your meals out. When tracking macros, it's going to be hard at first. It's going to be a little bit more time consuming and it's going to be a learning curve. So give yourself the time to get settled in and master this new skill. Because if you give up when it's hard, you're not going to learn that new skill. No one is good at something, amazing at something, their first time trying it. It might take you a couple of weeks to really get it down, but I promise you, once you continue to practice, and if you utilize us by your side, you're gonna be tracking macros independently by yourself, and it's gonna take you less than 5 minutes to put an entire meal plan together. And that's where we wanna get you to, but we do all have to start from somewhere. So when something is hard, don't quit and give up. Instead, continue to practice, because when something is hard, there's only 3 outcomes. Number 1, it gets easier. Number 2, you get better. Or number 3, you quit. Those are the only 3 outcomes. So I would rather you stick it through because it's gonna get easier and you're gonna get better. But if you quit, then you're guaranteed to not master the skill. And tracking macros is not a diet. It is a tool that builds self-awareness, and it's a skill that will allow you to not only reach your goals faster, but maintain your progress for the rest of your life because you know how to eat properly, how to structure your nutrition, and you know how to create your own meal plan, which is a very helpful skill if you wanna be healthy and lean and lose weight. My last point point on this, I did mention this in the other video, but just as a reminder, you are not tracking your macros as you go throughout the day. So you're not going to eat your breakfast and then try and log it in. You're not going to eat a sandwich and then try and log it in after. That is the quickest way to just not hit your macros for the day. So you actually want to plug in all of the meals you're going to eat ahead of time. So yes, you should be walking into your day knowing exactly what meals you're going to eat. If you're walking into your day and you're like, what do I eat today? What am I gonna have for lunch? I don't know what I'm gonna have. It's so much easier for you to just go through the drive-thru or just not eat anything, or you're just not gonna be on track to your goals. If you wanna be successful in this program and in your weight loss journey, we need to learn how to plan ahead. We need to learn how to prepare ahead of time. That is what discipline is. It's about making actions today that helps future you stay consistent. So every morning when I wake up, I put all my meals in for the entire day. I'm not tracking as I go. It's not a guessing game. I know that I'm gonna hit my macros and I just look at MyFitnessPal for what I'm gonna eat, and that's how I know what to eat that day. It's gonna feel weird at first. You're gonna feel resistance at first, but I promise you it's gonna become a new habit. You just need to continue to practice, and that way you're gonna walk into your day feeling so much more prepared and ahead of time. Because here's what happens if you try to log as you go throughout the day. Again, you're gonna be left over with like 20 grams of protein, 15 grams of fat, you're over your carbs, and it's just like you're not gonna hit your macros and it's too late. You can't go back and undo the foods you already ate. So what we can do though is to plan ahead of time to ensure that we will hit our macros, and that's how you hit your macros perfectly, is you plan ahead. That way you have room to make adjustments in your day wherever you need to. So hope that this video was helpful. The last video is going to be right after this, and we are so excited to officially get started. As always, let us know if you have any questions. Just message us in the app.